Horsford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the ranking member for holding this hearing. I'll attempt to be brief as well. Mr. Favre, I want to thank you for your courage and bravery in sharing your diagnosis today, and all the best to you and your family. And for those suffering with this as well, making sure that they also have the resources and the providers to receive the care that they should. You know, what's interesting also about this hearing is the fact that I'm from Nevada. I ran one of the largest job training programs in Nevada before I came to Congress. In fact, we were one of the leading providers for workforce training to move people from welfare to work. But the question is, what kind of work? And unfortunately, today in America, 6 million workers make as little as $2.13 an hour because of a sub-minimum wage that they're paid, particularly tipped workers. That's under the law, that they're paid as little as $2.13 an hour. And this is really a Jim Crow era policy, and it's why I've introduced a bill called the TIPS Act to eliminate that sub-minimum wage, to raise the wage, and to eliminate the income tax on tips, because that also can't cover the cost of rent, childcare, and utilities. But since its inception in the 1990s, Nevada has historically received limited levels of federal TANF funding due to historically low state investment in its predecessor, the Aid to Families with Dependent Children program. In fact, according to analysis from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, Nevada has only raised the maximum monthly TANF payment by $40 for a single-parent household over the past 30 years. When adjusted for inflation, this modest increase actually translates to a 40% reduction in the real value of direct assistance to families. Recognizing the impact of direct assistance, last Congress, we worked hard to expand and enhance the child tax credit through the passage of the American Rescue Plan. In my state alone, approximately 353,000 families received $449 per month, and 40,000 of Nevada's children were lifted from poverty into the middle class thanks to that child tax credit. So, Mr. Dortch, in your experience, what are the tangible benefits of expanding access to cash assistance to working families, and how could this be an effective complement to expanding access to affordable child care, health care, and housing?
I think what you saw in our state is that improved our economy, that created more jobs, that allowed people to have increased incomes, to be able to spend money in their community. As you mentioned, jobs in itself is not just the answer if you're in a place where there aren't any jobs. And there's so many places where the vast majority of people are working in service jobs that pay low hourly wages. And there aren't plants or manufacturing jobs in most parts of our state. So these are jobs that depend on money circulating in the community. And we don't have those jobs because you have so many people that don't have disposable income to be able to purchase anything more than what's necessary. And in a lot of cases, not even that. So we saw an increase in incomes in our state, and we saw an increase in tax revenue in our state. I think our state economist has acknowledged this. Our political leaders have not. They just say our economy has been great because it's been great. Although, you know, if you step out of Mississippi, the economy is terrible everywhere else. But in Mississippi, we have benefited from those investments because it added to the revenue moving through Mississippi.
Yep. Well, I just hope that we would look at some of the best practices of policy that works, and the child tax credit works in lifting children and families with children out of poverty, and we also need to look at jobs that pay poverty wages. And $2.13 to me is a poverty wage in 2024. You cannot pay the rent, you cannot cover child care, you can't buy groceries and utilities on $2.13 an hour. So if we're serious about addressing inequities, then I hope my colleagues would join with me in moving forward the TIPS Act. With that, I yield back.